Hello. Hello, all of my dreamers, all of my actors. Hello, everyone. Let's dive in. I have a lot to share with you today. So here we go. And I can see your comments too if you want to say anything or ask questions. So today's Teacher Tuesday topic is meeting with excellence. For any actor, at whatever level of experience, getting in the room means opportunity, and it should be a dream destination. And I know, yes, I have actors here, but I'm sure I have future, directors, playwrights, producers, probably a bunch of dreamers here. So getting in the room is always the dream destination. Getting in the room simply means that the chance, right, to pitch your project, a chance to meet with other industry professionals, such as casting directors, producers, the director themselves, talent agents, other people that can support you. It's the chance to truly make your dreams come true. But what I want to talk about today is what happens in the room. Like, what should we be expecting, right? What is expected of us, and what should we be expecting of others? And how do you even get in this room in the first place? So, okay, here we go. Meeting with excellence. Important actors for us to talk about what exactly is this idea of excellence. Okay, hang on. It says my connection. Okay, no, it's all good. What does that mean? What does excellence mean to you? I had a conversation with Mara McCain. So she is a producer. She's an artistic director and an actor herself. And I had a conversation. She taught this amazing masterclass. So she talked about business excellence, and I want to share a little bit about what she talked about in her meeting. Because as all of us, whatever the room looks like for us actors, I want us to meet with excellence. Okay, so let's talk about excellence. How do you begin to have a meeting with excellence? You have to have a system of business excellence. You are all actors, but you are also business men and women, right? You're the CEO of your business. So having a system for business excellence is key. It's kind of where we need to start before we even talk about the room, before you even want to get in the room, because when you make it to the room, actors, like, that is that final destination. So we kind of have to talk about the preparation, the things that are needed before we get into the room. So what she shared in her meeting, have a system of business excellence. The first thing she shared with us is you need to have excellent training in your craft of acting and business. Excellent training. Now, all of us define excellent and excellence different, but however you would define that for yourself, for me, excellence is training that it challenges me, it builds my confidence. I'm always learning new things. It's helping me get to where I want to go. So first and foremost, you've got to have excellent training in your craft of acting and business. That's the first strategy. She called this strategy number 1, business excellence. To know I have had excellent training in my craft of acting and the craft of the business of acting. That's where we have to start first. And there's a confidence, there's a knowing that I have excellent training. I have been trained in the craft of acting, and I have been trained in the craft of business. And now, This is the first place we want to go. Okay, but she talked about how excellent training in your craft of acting, that doesn't always guarantee success. And I know that is true for many actors. You know, we could have the most incredible training and gone to the most prestigious schools, and that it doesn't guarantee success. But that is where we want to start. That's the first strategy, to have a business excellence, to know we have had excellent training in our craft and business. Now, what is business? Okay, the business of acting. I feel like I want to talk about this really quickly here, but really I just want to talk about business. Business, simply, it's a product. It's a business that you're trading for money. That really is what a business is, okay? And you actors, I want you to begin to see yourself as the product. You are the business. You are the building, you're the supplies, you're the service, you are the business, okay? And so a business it's a product or a business that you are trading for money. So remember that. Everything you're doing, there should be a trade. It may not always be traded for money. You know, sometimes we trade our business for experience, for opportunities, networking, but there's a trade that should be happening in business. Now, what is excellence? Excellence to me is knowing that I am willing to learn and do new things to get what I want. For me, you know, having a level of excellence and meeting with excellence. I'm hoping, actors, that you'll have multiple meetings and multiple opportunities to build this idea of meeting with excellence. And each time you do, even if it, you know, I'm going to talk about the different rooms. Yes, there's rooms with industry professionals and agents and casting directors for auditions. But each time you make it to the room, have that level of excellence. Ask yourself questions like, did I do the best I could do today? Not tomorrow, you know, not next time, today. Did I do the best I could have done in that meeting? Did I represent myself the best in that room? And this to me is that level of excellence where we're willing to learn and to improve. We're willing to do things differently. We're willing to look at how we presented ourselves today and how can I do better? And there's a willingness. You know, I think that's really key with meeting with excellence and having a business excellence, actors, is the willingness. A willingness to not to blame. You know, don't blame it on the casting director's bad attitude. Don't blame it on the traffic. Don't blame it on that, well, I didn't have a lot of time to prepare, or my kids kept me up all night, or I don't have the money, or whatever. We tend to blame, you know, and we are all creative people, and creatives, we look inside for the solutions. So, and also with that, we hold our power. We have the power here. When we blame other people, we give our power away. So when you make it to the room, and we'll talk about the different rooms, when you make it there, we want to strive for excellence. So be willing to try things differently, be willing to learn, be willing to improve. A couple more things about having business excellence. Okay, knowing that you're a business and you're trading your business for money and or other things. We are willing to learn and do new things to get what we want, and we're willing to learn and improve. You must know your brand. Actors, you got to know your brand, okay? Actors, you are the business, you are the product, okay? Simply put, I could do a whole Teacher Tuesday on brand, but a brand, simply put, is what is the vision? It's your vision plus mission plus purpose plus core values plus beliefs. It's all those things, okay? Just so you can start brainstorming. So what is the vision for your career? What's the vision Like, where are you going? Where do you see yourself in this industry? What is the vision? Okay, what is your mission? Have a mission, actors. Yes, you are striving to be a successful, sought-after actor, but what's it all for? What's the mission? What are you going to do with your legacy? What are you going to do when you reach that final destination? What is the mission? What projects and stories do you want to tell? What do you want to bring light to? What is your mission? Plus your purpose. What is your purpose here? What is the dream? What's your purpose to entertain, to make people laugh, to bring stories to life, to inspire others? What's the purpose? What are your core values plus your beliefs? So kind of brainstorm, and that'll help you begin to develop your brand. Another step for having business excellence is your target. This is your goal to get to those meetings or the room. Get specific and know and understand your brand. So know what those core values are. You should know those core values, and we may have to practice. We have to remind ourselves and, to present our brand to ourselves. We gotta practice this, okay? Because the whole purpose of this Teacher Tuesday is to get to that final destination, to get to the room. So we got to start here with a level of excellence, to know our brand, to be able to tell people in the elevator, to be able to really articulate it. So get specific, know and understand. Why are those your core values? Why is this your mission? What's the story behind it? What's the heart behind your purpose? Why do you have this vision? Okay. Okay, I think that's all I want to say there. Oh yeah, and last thing Mara McCain talked about in that class was, what is success for you? And I think that's such an important thing for all of us to define for ourselves. What is success? And she talked about that, is you must define it for you. It can't be what your mom or dad think. It can't be what social media says, or comparing it to other people. Like, what is success? And for her, she talked about it in making it smart, making it time bound. So what is your success for the next 3 months? That was the example she gave in that class. If you're and I teach my actors to come up with 90-day goals. So what is the success in the 90 days? If you complete the goal, if you do X, Y, and Z, is your success this level of excellence? Be willing to learn and constantly improving, always to do better what I did yesterday. So how would you define success on your own, actors? Okay, what else do I want to share about meeting with excellence? This is kind of all like the before, the preparation to get to the room. And I really want you to see, actors, like, today is about the business side of acting. This is a business. It's not just memorizing lines and connecting to emotions. This is a business. And I think this is where a lot of actors get stuck in the business. And I really want to help you with the business side and begin to see yourself as a CEO. Begin to build the foundations and define your brand, understand it, define success, this willingness to learn and improve and to grow and to take advice and to receive it, okay, so strategy number 1 was the business excellence. Now, the next strategy I want to talk about is inner validation. In order to have a meeting with excellence, actors, you must have a practice of inner validation. What is the validation? Okay, we can't don't look for external validation before you take action. You know, sometimes my actors want to say, oh, I'm not an actor because I don't have X, Y, and Z on my resume. Oh, I can't go after an agent because of this. Or I can't become an amazing actress until I win an award, right? They're looking for that external validation. And it's always going to let you down. It's never going to measure up. So we've got to begin to practice an inner validation. Before we can get into the room, you have to know how amazing and talented you are. That's why the brain, you know, knowing our purpose and our mission, and that all supports that. But you've got to be practicing inner validation. Asking yourself, you know, what am I best at? What is it that lights me up about acting? Why is this my dream come true? Why am I willing to risk it all? Begin to shift from desiring external validation to really desiring what you say about yourself. Because at the end of the day, that is what matters. You're going to go to have multiple meetings and multiple auditions. And that inner validation is what's going to keep you going. To me, having that inner validation, it also requires us to have that excellence, because then I hold myself accountable. I'm not blaming others and giving them my power. I have the power. I am powerful. I have the power to create the life I want. So as I go to auditions, as I'm meeting with casting directors, producers, other industry professionals, even engaging and meeting with actors, I'm always putting on that CEO cap and like, okay, how did that go? How could I have improved? What did I like about that performance? What would I have done differently, right? It holds me accountable to get what I want. I'm able to gently observe and not judge myself, not be like, oh my gosh, Kelsey, you totally sucked. You just bombed that. Like, you know, even this whole Teacher Tuesday, like the whole technology, like I could have really let that bother me, but you know what? I'm going to overcome it, and trust me, after this live, I'm going to figure out why those things didn't work, and I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to improve. I'm always willing to do better. I am holding myself accountable because this is truly my dream come true. Yeah, it's like, this is my dream. This is my life. Okay, what else? So that is strategy number 2, having that inner validation. And then the strategy number 3 is now we get in the room. That's kind of what Mara shared in her class, the 3 different strategies. She said, first, you've got to have that business excellence foundation. Okay? The next, inner validation. You've got to practice that. And she really talked about that, how that was the biggest shift for her. The business excellence, she had that in the bag. Okay, she loves the business, but that inner validation, she realized that is really what was keeping her from strategy number 3 of getting in the room. She was constantly looking for other people to approve of her. She was blaming other people. She was looking for other people to build her confidence, but it's you know, looking for others to give her that validation. Always hoping for other people to invest in herself, and she realized she wasn't willing to invest in herself, and she didn't believe she was worthy or enough, and she was kind of putting that energy out into the world. So we've got to practice that, actress, so we can meet with excellence. And then the last thing is, now we are able to get into the room. So let's talk about that. Let's kind of shift gears. And let's talk about now. We got the business excellence. We practice that inner validation. Now we're going to practice getting in the room, and that is our final destination. So the room. The room can mean many different things. We have the audition room. We've got a meeting room, the casting room, the interview room, many different ways to describe the room, right? And the room can also represent many different things. So when I'm mentioning the room, right? I'm just referring to the room. Honestly, actors, where decisions are made. Okay, that is the room. We want to get to the room. Okay, so whether it's a separate audition room, no matter what it is, within this room, there may just be you in person. It could be you virtual, through like Zoom. They do a lot of Zoom auditions. It could be your self-tape. And so this is the audition room. I don't know if I said that, but in the audition room, it could just be you and the casting director. It could be you, the casting director, and other staff members, other actors who've already been cast. They could also be there, who may also be a reader. The reader is, your scene partner for an in-person or virtual audition. Usually actors for a callback or the final round of auditions, that's when the artistic director and or the director of the show actually shows up. Okay, that's when they sit on the panel. If a choreographer is involved, then they will show up. If it's a musical, then the musician or the musical director will be there. Also in that final round is when the producer is going to show up, and any other key artistic, team members that are associated, involved in the project. So that callback, that final round of audition, expect more people on the panel, and just know that these people, they make the decision, the final decision. And that's okay, because you've made it to the room. They are excited to see you. They want you to succeed. And they're on your side. They've been expecting you. They want to see you. So the audition room, it always varies. I've seen it where there's just you and the casting director. I've seen it where there's a casting director and like the assistant and somebody else you don't really know, but they're just reading the line. So just be expecting one or two people, be expecting more significant key players for the final or, your callback. Just be expecting, what do I want to say here? Expecting industry professionals, okay? This is a big moment. But also, actors, you are big time as well, okay? You are a professional too. So you are welcomed in this room. There's a lot of the interviews or the conversations I've had with directors and casting directors. A lot of times actors want to put them on such a pedestal, and they're like, oh my gosh, and they get so nervous, and they psych themselves out. But don't forget, you've been invited to this room too. Okay, if you see that the artistic director and the producer and the casting, they're all here, be like, wow, they have all showed up for me. This is the company I am in. I am included in the room too. Okay, so don't forget that. You're just as important. You are a key member as well. Now, let's talk about a little bit of what you should expect once you've made it to the room, whether it's the audition room, we're going to talk about the audition room first. I want to talk about what to expect when interviewing with an agent and what that room looks like, but I want to talk about the audition room, okay? So what you should be expecting, what you should prepare for when it comes to stepping into that room, and what you should be expecting of others, okay? Now, this comes straight from a candid conversation I had with an LA casting director. Her name is Louise Collins, and she casts for everything. I mean, she does TV, film, commercial, promos. So this is a little bit of what she shared with me and collection of other conversations. So studios and casting offices vary. Okay, you can't anticipate what the atmosphere is going to be like, actors, when you walk in, and you may have no idea how many people are in the room, right? We just talked about that. So don't allow yourself to be thrown off by the environment. You know, sometimes we're expecting this glamorous room. I mean, it could just be in the hallway. I mean, just be prepared for anything. A good casting office, so I do want to say a good casting office is really going to care about making you feel welcomed. So no matter what the room looks like, they're going to want you to feel welcome. They're going to want you to feel safe and comfortable. Okay, a good casting office. And then we need to learn to appear confident and at ease, no matter what the setting is. If they want us to meet outside because it's a nice day, sure. We have a willingness to meet wherever. The room can look however. We are excited to be here. We have been invited. They are expecting us. We should feel welcomed. We should feel confident. We have made it in the room, okay? Auditions are stressful, even for the casting director. And I'm saying this, actors, because you're not alone. Again, they have feelings too, okay? They are people, and they also want this to go well. There can even be tension if the casting director feels the pressure to impress the creative team. You know, if there's other people on the panel, the director, the producer, remember, they have a job to do too, and they may feel that pressure because there's other people in charge. So this is where we can only control ourselves. So you be confident, be at ease, practice breathing, practice that inner validation, be prepared for any casting situation that you walk into. Focus on why you are there, who you are. Stay calm, stay confident, stay polite, right? The team, whoever they are, they need to know that you are going to be a great collaborator on set and in rehearsals. They need to feel safe and comfortable and confident with you, okay? So you really can create the atmosphere. I truly believe that, actors. I know I have that power. I can walk into a room and change the atmosphere with my energy, with my confidence, with my personality. I have that power, and so do you, actors. Remember that. You are very, very powerful. So with that, first impressions matter. Okay, when you radiate warmth and you're so engaging and we can feel that excitement, it's kind of going back to strategy number 1, the business excellence. When we know our brand, our purpose, our mission, why we are here, when we are just rock solid in the essence of us, we can feel it, right? They will remember you, I promise you, because you have left behind a positive impression. When you arrive in the room, the first thing I want you to do, actors, when you arrive, you need to make sure everyone notices you. And how you do that is just make eye contact. Make sure that you have made eye contact with every single person in the room. Also, make sure that you look well put together, right? Because how you dressed, they're going to instantly start judging you. I mean, that's just what we do. I hate to say that, but that's what we do. They're going to begin judging you, who you are, by the way you look, by your facial expressions. You know, do you make a good fit? Do we like you? Are you good for this character? Can we see ourselves working with you? That first impression, before you've even introduced yourself, I mean, they're already judging you. So walk in with confidence, walk in with a smile. You have made it in the room. This is the dream destination. Like you're reflecting your dreams. This is amazing. Let them feel that excitement. You can change the atmosphere like that. Okay, a smile can really, it goes a long way. Okay, so a little bit more about dressing. I really encourage you actors to dress the part. Okay, the way you put yourself together is important. It's that very first impression. Now, casting directors, they will often let agents know if there's a wardrobe note for the audition. So if there's a specific thing they're wanting, your agent will tell you. Okay, so don't dress in like a full-on costume if it's not in the notes. Okay, don't do that. However, you can dress with a nod to the era or, the style of the piece, right? For example, if it's like a period piece, try on like a vintage style blouse or, pull your hair back. It's really to help them imagine you in that role. It kind of takes away that guessing. So try that, see if you have a piece of clothing is something that can just kind of give you a nod to the style. Let them see that level of professionalism. Let them see the attention to detail and exactly who you are, okay? That you have showed up ready to show off. Okay, so that's all happening even before the audition. Make that good first impression. Now, during the actual acting audition part, okay? Actors, you will be asked to perform a monologue or a scene from a script. That's kind of a given, right? But also, they may ask you to do a cold read, which involves, reading from the script that you may not have previously seen or prepared. They may like your look and they may think that you actually read for this character. And can you try this? They may have you read for multiple roles. So be prepared for that. Additionally, actors may ask to showcase their improv skills. Having a good understanding of the script in a whole, and then knowing exactly where this scene or monologue is in the script, that is the key, actors. Understand the script, understand the plot, the summary. You should know the story, okay? And you should definitely know who you are in the script. Are you a key player? Are you maybe a supporting role? Just kind of know who you are. Are you here to kind of move along at the dialogue, the climax? Sometimes you just know who you are in this movie or TV, whatever it is you're auditioning for. And also know where this particular scene or monologue is placed. Is this in the beginning? Is this in the middle? Is this right after this huge climactic part happened? Is this toward the end? Is this a turning point of a certain character? Like, understand that. It shows that you know how to tell a good story. Okay. The purpose truly of an audition, actors, is to give the casting director and anyone else there on the panel an idea of your abilities, what you bring to the table, and how you might fit into the project. And this is where I want you to understand that, actors, a lot of the decision making is out of our control. Okay? The director, artistic director, the producer, we don't know what they're looking for exactly. We don't know their ideas, or also, we could also change their ideas. We just don't know. And so we've got to let some of that control go and just trust in our abilities, trust in our preparation, trust in our gifts and talents. And this is where, I talked about defining success for you. How would you define success? This is where practicing that inner validation is so important, because rejection and hearing the word no, and it happens. And how do we handle those moments? How do we handle rejection with excellence? How do we audition with excellence? How do we present ourselves with excellence? How do we have meetings and interviews with excellence? Okay, it's It's part of the business. And so the purpose truly of this audition is to see your abilities, what you bring, and how you fit in, okay? And the rest is really out of your control. Now, during the audition process, actors, if you fluff on your lines, okay, you mess them up, do not apologize. Don't do that. When you apologize, you come out of character. Don't do that, okay? You just pause, regain your focus, and carry on with the scene. Unless the director says cut, okay? And if they say cut, that doesn't mean anything. Possibly they just wanted to stop and have you restart. It doesn't mean anything. Maybe they've already seen enough. Maybe right away they just know you're not for the part, or you're not, what they're looking for. And it's okay. It doesn't mean anything about you. Professional, award-winning actors mess up all the time, okay? They don't make it mean anything. They mess up, they refocus, and they get right back into it. It's part of the job. They're not going to get it always right every time. We've seen the bloopers, right? We've seen all the mistakes. It happens to the best, to Academy Award, Oscar-winning actors, okay? So you guys, it's okay to mess up on your lines. It doesn't mean anything. Carry yourself with a level of professionalism and understand that it's just all part of it. Don't get yourself worked up. You don't have to apologize. It's part of the job. Why are you apologizing for doing your job? Okay. And also remind yourself that if they're filming this, because sometimes casting will film, if it's an in-person audition, they'll film it. They can edit this out, right? They can even let you do it again. The casting director and the other team, they're real people, okay? They've done this hundreds of times, so they take it into consideration. This is your first time reading this. This is your first time working with this other actor or this other reader. And, they understand that you're getting into the rhythm of someone else talking. You may need to warm up. It's okay. And I've heard in so many conversations with casting that the first time they really do see it as a warm-up, and it's often the second or third take that's the best. And remember, the casting director's job is to find the talent for the director, okay? So if your first take, if you mess up and you fluff on a line, they're going to want you to have a second or third take. They want to present the very best to the director. They have a job to do as well. So remember that. They're on your side. And the audition, the first round of auditions, when you're in person, okay? And even when you get a callback, kind of see it, actors, as this a mini workshop opportunity to really work on this character. In the room, like I just said, casting directors, they will often let actors do a first take. Really, yes, as a warm-up, but also to see how they've prepared it. What ideas have you brought? What is their instincts on the character? They kind of need to see the choices you've made. Even in my own acting classes, I like to give my actors, okay, go ahead and present it. I want to see the ideas and what they have prepared. It gives me more of a direction, right? And then the casting director will take what you have presented. They'll look at the notes and the directions from the director, and they'll give you directions. They'll give you notes for a second take and maybe even a third, okay? And so this is when we need to really listen carefully. Casting directors are not always actors. And so when they describe like their notes and their direction, and when they redirect you, they're not always like, what do I want to say here? It's like sometimes we wish sometimes as actors they would just like get to the point and tell us what they need, but they'll describe it and elaborate, and then sometimes it can be kind of confusing. So we actors, we have to listen carefully and adapt quickly. We've got to grab the operative words. What did you hear in that direction that you're connecting to? Okay, we've got to practice taking different direction. And in my coaching calls, my actors, I'm always redirecting them. I'm always changing it up. It's good practice. You actors, you're going to come in with a well-prepared script and character, as you should. But I may want something totally different. The director may be wanting something completely different for that character. And so we have to not get stuck in what we have prepared and have that willingness to try something new, right? That's that meeting with excellence that we talked about. So you've got to listen carefully and be able to adapt quickly to different direction, be open to exploring their characters. Sometimes casting directors might also just be testing us to see how well we take direction. Okay, they might just throw something super random just to see how well. They might ask you to play it bigger, play it smaller, play it louder, quieter, or with a certain motive, just to see how well you take direction. And just to also see if you're not just like this one trick pony. Can you do other things? What do you bring to the table? Remember, the audition is simply for casting directors to see your abilities and to see how well you fit in as a whole. Now, after the audition process, you may be asked questions. Now, when you're asked questions in the room, just answer them naturally. It is always obvious when you're trying too hard, trying to impress them or saying something you think that they want you to hear. They don't want to hear that. If they are taking the time to ask you questions, it's because they want to get to know you. And actors, I want you to work on that inner validation and to see that you are interesting. You are all so interesting. Your personality is interesting to them. So let it shine. Let your personality shine, actors, instead of saying something you think they want you to hear. They want your honest reaction to the script. They want your honest reaction to the character. Those are usually the questions they're going to ask you. So be prepared to talk about the script, right? But don't worry, we've already done the work, right? We know the script, we know the other characters, we know our character. So when they ask us questions about that, we're just going to honestly and authentically answer them. Also, actors, be prepared to ask them questions. Be open to having a brief conversation, about the script, about your character, about the production, the ideas. Be open. They may want to have a brief discussion. Be open to all that. And also, I say this, and don't be put off if you have no discussion at all, okay? They may not have enough time to chat in the room. And that doesn't mean anything if they want to talk to you, they want to ask you questions, or if they don't. Just be open for it all, okay? It's a new experience. It's a mini workshop. We are learning and growing and building, right? We're meeting with excellence, okay? We're learning to do new things and always improving. Now, often when discussing your character in an audition, you're going to want to tell them how you personally relate to the character or the situation. Tell them that. They want to hear that, okay? It's kind of a little key. Because your job, it requires you to evoke emotional memory and to empathize with other people's experience. So share them that personal connection. But don't overshare, okay? Be careful. Like if there's a character that's had addiction or a drama that you can personally relate to because you've been in that situation, don't overshare, okay? Because then they're gonna feel it, right? It's gonna be uncomfortable. Don't overshare. You want to practice that. That's why I'm telling you all this, right? Think about really. Be prepared to discuss the character. Be prepared to tell them how you personally relate to the character, to the script. Think about what you're comfortable discussing before your meeting, okay? And when we do that, actors, when we take that time to think about it and to practice what we're going to say, this is when we speak in a matter-of-fact way. right? When discussing the character and how it relates to you. And it helps us feel more in control. It helps us feel more comfortable and professional. We want to speak in a matter-of-fact way. We want to try to leave the stories and the emotions and the drama. This is not that type of meeting, okay? This is a business meeting. All right. Now, we've talked about the audition room. Now, what about the room for a talent agent and reps? Okay, what are those rooms like? Let's discuss. What I want to say about when you are meeting with representation, I want to remind you, actors, that this is just as much an interview for you as it is for them. You are also interviewing them. Do you want to work for them? Does it feel right? Does it feel like a good fit? And they will also be interviewing you. Okay, so remember, it's not just you have to try to impress them and, oh my gosh, I hope they like me. No. You want to like them too. And again, actors, I want to remind you that you have made it in the room. If they want to meet with you, they already like you. They're interested. They want to know more. And clearly, if you have reached out to them, through self-submission, through emailing, whatever, you should also be interested in them. So there should be this mutual interest already. And so then you kind of can meet in person and feel it out. See how it feels. Does it feel good? Because overall, the interview process to meet with an agent, it really is simple. It truly is, actors. There is just this, getting to the room. I talked a lot about that last week. So make sure you watch the replay. But once you're there, the process is simple, okay? You've made it to the room. But knowing what to expect, and what I'm teaching you today, is how we stay relaxed, how we stay comfortable, confident, how we give a successful interview. No matter if they may walk away and you might not be a good fit because maybe they have other people that look like you on their roster. Maybe who knows? We have to let go of that. We don't have any control. We have only the control of ourselves. But we want to give a successful interview. We want to give a successful meeting, a successful audition, right? So make sure you do define success for you. So there are 3 big things I want to talk about. We're going to keep it simple, okay? But I want you to know what to expect. Go for the gold in your personal presentation. Go for it, actors. This is the time to shine. Show them what you're made of. And it all starts with how you dress. Dress with confidence. Dress as if you would for any interview, okay? Dress with excellence. You are there to impress them, okay? You want them to like you and vice versa, right? They should also be dressed to impress as well. They should make you feel comfortable. They should also be going for the gold, okay? There should be flowers, or it should be a nice, clean environment. They should offer you something to drink. They're going for the gold, and you should as well, okay? You are there to impress them. You are there to show your future agent how you would look if they submitted you for any major roles, if they send you out and about, okay? You need to show them what they're going to agree to, okay? Because they want to work with you. So show up, camera ready, okay? So dress like the movie star you are. Okay, next. You need to be prepared to discuss your markability, your uniqueness, and how passionate you are about your dream. Marketability. I think I said that word wrong. Your marketability, your uniqueness, and how passionate you are about your career. Okay, so they can read your credits on your resume, right? They probably already have. They can read your skills, your hobby, your training. They can already read all that. But what they need to know is how to market you. Okay, so during the interview, it's always going to be one-on-one. I mean, and they may have other agents and other team, but it's not going to be you and other actors. Okay, so it's just going to be you with them. This really gives them the chance to get to know you, because that's really what they want to do. They want to get to know you. How can we market you? How are you going to make me that 10%? The agent is going to look at your resume and they're going to ask questions about your credits, about your school, about your training. So have a physical copy of your marketing material. Make sure you have it on hand too. Have your portfolio, other important documents, have your headshot. Practice elaborating on your resume. Practice what your career goals are. Practice like who you are in this industry. What film and television projects light you up? When you look at your resume, how if you were to go through each experience and talk about it, give us the highlights. Okay, this is how would you market yourself? Are you going for TV? Are you going for commercial? Or both? Where do you see yourself? What film and television projects do you want to be a part of? We've got to discuss this. It's just like any interview, those interview questions like, why should we hire you? What are your strengths and weaknesses? What do you love about acting? And I have some sample questions here in a moment I'll share with you, but we want to practice this, okay? Practice discussing your marketability, your uniqueness, and how passionate you are. What are your goals? Why do you love acting? Now, last week's Teacher Tuesday talked about seeing ourselves this, where we shared our 3 almost. And so my thought is like, if you've made it to the room, they clearly know a little bit about you, and so you can elaborate more on that. Now, if you look at your resume and maybe you don't have like hardly any experience, okay, actor. So if you're not like working, you're training. So just remember that. It's kind of like a little side note, okay? Don't let that resume accuse you of nothing. I don't care if there's 1 credit or 0, okay? If you're not currently working or you haven't booked a job yet, well, you're training. And also, you're in the room, okay? So there's that. They've obviously seen the resume. So do not let that resume embarrass you. Do not let that define you. They've already seen it. Okay, so they're going to want to talk more about it and how you see yourself in this industry. They may ask you to, talk about your special skills or may even perform them. Okay, they're trying to see how you fit, how they're going to represent you. So help them. Show them. This is where we are going to be bold and be confident, and we're going to know our worth and know our excellence. We are determined. We're qualified. We've done X, Y, and Z. I'm trained in Shakespeare. I've done stage combat. Show off. Brag about yourself. Practice this part of the interview process. And then the last thing is really connect. Actors, you want them to get to know you, okay? You don't want to have an agent where you're always trying to pretend to be somebody else. Be yourself. Let your personality come through. People don't book you off the resume. They book you because of you. They want to work with the person, right? Not what you've done. It's you. Make sure, actors, you've done research on the staffing agency ahead of time, okay? And you come up with questions for them. As much as, they're going to have questions for you, you should have some questions too. Ask them. Prepare some questions. And then get familiar with various interview questions. Okay, I want to share a couple. Some common questions they're going to ask you to get to know you, your passion, your uniqueness. How dedicated are you? Do you really want to be an actor? Because if they add you to the roster, then that takes a spot away from somebody else. So how would you answer these questions, actors? Why do you want to be an actor? This is where your passion. Let them see your passion, okay? You could also discuss marketability, your role models, movies that's influenced you, things you want to do. What do you already know about our company? They may ask you that, okay? That's when they're going to see, do you really want to do this? How professional are you? Have you done the research? What are your short-term career goals? Right? You want to land a reoccurring spot on a television show. You are wanting to be SAG. What are your short-term career goals? Do you want to work in film, TV, live theater, or all of the above, or a combination of any of those, or voice acting? What do you want to do? What are your greatest strengths and weaknesses? And the weaknesses is like, what are still areas that you want to learn and explore? It's like that, that meeting with excellence that I talked about at the beginning of this lesson. What is still the areas that you need to improve in? And have an honest conversation, okay? What do you enjoy most about acting? What do you enjoy? What lights you up? Why is this all that you've ever wanted to do? How does it feel to act? Let us feel it. Let us fall in love with you. Let us believe you. Let us just, wow, I want to work with her. She wants to do this. She is so determined. Let us feel something there. Okay, now, what are your long-term career goals? Okay? Think about that. These are some good questions, right, actors? What is your favorite film, TV production, or even theater production? What is your favorite? And also know why it's your favorite. How did you hear about us? How did you find out about us? They love asking that question. And then this is a common question. Do you have any questions for us? And you absolutely should. You should have one, multiple, couple questions, okay? Now they may ask about your acting experience, like do you have a degree, what productions you've been in, but a lot of this stuff is going to be on the resume. So they may just ask you to elaborate. What was your favorite thing that you learned at this conservatory? Why did you audition for this role? What else? What acting technique is best for you? What do you think can make a role challenging? Would you identify any actors in the industry as role models? How would you approach a scene when you don't get along with your scene partners? These are kind of in-depth questions, but it's just like kind of a collection of what casting directors have said, or agents, I'm sorry. What do you think makes a performance most believable? How would you define good acting? What techniques do you use to develop characters? What style of acting do you think you are most suited for? What do you believe is the most challenging aspects? Actors. Most challenging aspect of being an actor. These are some good questions, right? What are some of your most valuable skills as an actor? What type of projects have you been in before? Here's an example, right? You could say, well, most of my experience is in stage acting, as I've been in over 20 straight plays and over 30 musicals. But I've also acted in 3 small independent film projects. What are some of your most valuable skills as an actor? Here's an example. I have excellent memorization skills and improv skills, which help me learn lines quickly and work with cast members and directors smoothly. I've also had training in multiple singing styles, such as belting and classical voice. Okay, do you see how that example brags? You brag excellent memorization skills, which has done what for me? Help me learn my lines quickly and work with casting members smoothly, okay? So discuss your skills and brag about them, and then why? Excuse me. Do you have professional training in any acting techniques? Here's an example. I'm trained in the Meisner technique, method acting, and Stanislavski technique. Now, tell us why. Tell us what that has done for you, right? Which has helped me to master and portray highly emotional, multidimensional roles. Do you believe talent or training is more important to an actor? Here's an example. Answer. I believe both are important, but I think it can be beneficial to spend more time focusing on training than raw talent, because it's a great way to improve and keep learning new techniques, which can open you up to more projects. Oh, that's such a good answer. How would you react if you received a negative review of a performance? Here's an example. Like, how would you react, right? Well, I try to see every negative review as an opportunity to learn something about my performance and to improve in the future. I don't ever post comments or public replies, but I'm always thankful for feedback, even if it's negative. Man, oh man, talk about meeting with excellence. Okay, this is a lot. I've shared a lot. As I was typing the notes for today's Teacher Tuesday, I was like, oh my goodness, there's just so much to share. I feel like I've given you a lot to think about, to meditate on. Go back and watch the replay, start from the beginning. This is all about meeting with excellence. We've got the 3 strategies. First and foremost, the business excellence. Start there. Next, inner validation. And then the strategy of get in the room, which is what I spent a lot of time talking about today. All right, my dreamers, let me know how you like this Teacher Tuesday. Let me know if there's future topics that you want me to talk about. Next Tuesday, the topic is actors audit. Okay, we're going to go through and audit the things that we need as an actor. I don't want to share too much, but it's going to be amazing. Actors audit. Have a fantastic Tuesday. Y'all can do this. Okay, everything I shared, it's the power of knowing. Like, the more you know, the more you know. And meeting with excellence, it's a willingness to learn, to improve, to do better. But also, actors, it's like, what did I do today? Okay, so even just watching this and taking notes. What did you do today? What did you learn? Okay, and then tomorrow, maybe brainstorm about the brand. You know, it's just like one day at a time. You know, sometimes even when I teach this, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to overwhelm you. I'm giving you things to do daily, things to think about, okay? But part of being excellent in this business is to really show up as someone who trusts yourself. You are all capable of doing this, every single one of you. So show up every day as someone who trusts themselves, someone who is taking action, someone who is investing in their dream. Trust yourself. Even if you're not like sure you're doing it right, like that is excellence. It's the willingness to work and figure it out. It's the willingness to improve, to make a mistake and to keep going, to ask questions, to make the best possible decision with what you have, okay? That is excellence. All right, well, I'm going to go. And I'll see you all next time. Bye, actors.